Kids have like an hour left. So get extra comfortable, kids, because after that, y'all gotta go. It's a wrap for y'all, because this thing turns into something that when y'all get older, y'all don't want to come to. Okay? So, let's just start to get our groove on a little bit. In an hour, we put the kids away. It's all good. All right, DJ, that's it. Let's do it.
Wow. Because he's the acceptable monster at this time.
So who's next?
The acceptable monster.
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different.
But I do know this, that it's only 3 people that had contracts with Puff and Bad Boy.
Beyoncé and Jay-Z, the music scene's power couple, are reportedly on edge as some fresh drama unfolds with their names attached. You know they've been tight with Diddy for years, right? Collaborating on tracks, celebrating, and stacking cash together. But now, that long-time bond might come at a cost. Word on the street is there's evidence connecting them to Diddy's notorious parties. And it's not looking good. Tha and Jay have always kept things classy, but rumors suggest they may have loosened up at these wild events. Now, the whispers are getting louder, receipts are surfacing, and social media is buzzing with this juicy gossip. Is their squeaky clean image about to take a hit? Buckle up. It looks like this saga is just beginning.
They reported to you that Piers Morgan decided to take down parts of his interview with Jaguar Wright, where she talked about and referred to Beyoncé and Jay-Z as monsters and alleged that these two have held people against their own will. In a statement from Beyoncé's attorneys, they said that these statements from Jaguar Wright were completely untrue and false, and asked that Piers Morgan take those clips down and to apologize, which Piers Morgan actually did. Well, now, and this is becoming a trend from celebrities, their attorney is speaking out on TMZ Live and addressing why Beyoncé and Jay-Z decided to speak out. And he says that what Piers did and what Jaguar said actually hurts the real victims.
This must have been shocking to you that somebody comes on a show and then kind of levels these vague-ish allegations. Were you kind of ready for something like this to eventually happen?
Listen, there's rumors and then there's nonsense, and this is one step further, right? This is a pointed and formal accusation of something, and I felt it needed to be responded to. So I think somebody reported it was a cease and desist. It wasn't that. It was quite bluntly an ultimatum, which is remove that false accusation that's demonstrably false, or a court's going to order you to. And so I think he made the wise choice. And
so basically he's saying that they were willing to actually sue Piers Morgan over these statements. But Piers, in the moment when he was interviewing Jaguar Wright, or already was backpedaling, saying that, we can't confirm or deny some of what she was saying, but has since went on his platform to denounce it. It's just not worth it for him. In the separate video that we did covering this story, we told you Piers Morgan is not just Piers Morgan on YouTube. It's not like Kempire here on YouTube. He has a monster house behind him, including Rupert Murdoch, who owns 50% of his YouTube channel. That is billions of dollars behind Piers Morgan. And one of the other things that I noted was the fact that Piers Morgan's contract with Rupert Murdoch's company, News UK, is up for negotiations now. So that could be a part of the motivation behind Piers Morgan. It's not worth it for him. However, take a listen to what the attorney says in regards to why this is so dangerous.
Let's dive into these so-called freak-offs that have group chats buzzing nonstop. What kind of chaos was Diddy into that's now keeping the music industry's power couple up at night? The streets are whispering about some wild nights that could shift the entire landscape for everyone involved. Diddy's parties have always been the stuff of legend, but these new claims are taking things to a whole other level. We're not just talking VIP lounges and expensive drinks. Word is, these events were full of orgies and seriously questionable behavior. Sources are spilling that Diddy's parties were like scenes out of a movie, but definitely not the kind you'd watch with your family. Drugs, sex, and wild antics that would make even the most hardened partiers blush. And it wasn't just random guests. Major music industry figures were reportedly right there in the thick of it. Here's where things get really messy. Rumors are swirling that these parties weren't just about having fun. Some people are saying Diddy was using these gatherings to manipulate and control key players in the industry. Imagine having dirt on some of the biggest stars and using that leverage to your advantage. That's some next-level power move. And it's got folks shook. This whole scandal exploded when Cassie, Diddy's ex, filed a lawsuit against him, detailing years of abuse. The things she's revealing are disturbing: forced encounters, physical violence, and dark manipulation. And that's just what's come out so far. Who knows what other secrets are still hidden behind those NDAs?
He meaning Piers Morgan.
Removing it and apologizing for it, yes. What changed here in my mind is that somebody on a so-called journalistic platform exploited that kind of random rumor mill, whether it's disconnected from reality or what have you, and lifted it up. And by doing that, they not only caused harm here, but they are also droning out the voices of real victims. And by doing that to get clicks, it didn't just harm the Carters. What he did effectively was to drone out the voices of actual victims in an ongoing case, in an ongoing investigation. And that was too much for me.
Are you in the
Pause. This is the first time that we are having an actual celebrity, a celebrity that's close to the Diddy situation, actually address the situation. Besides Ray J. Besides Ray J, this is the first time the Carters have actually, in a way, through their representative, their attorney, is actually addressing the Diddy situation.
Process of making sure that it is taken down everywhere?
What I am here to say is that in a situation as serious as this, somebody who puts themselves out as a journalist should not effectively take advantage of the situation and exploit somebody in this way. And so that's the real reason for action.
His words are very important because I do feel like on some level, I think he's talking about the exploitation of victims, but I also think there is an exploitation of Jaguar Wright. Because I do believe, I do believe there is some truth to some of what she says. However, I do believe she does add a lot of sauce. And I've said this countless times that I believe that there is truth to what Jaguar has reported in regards to some of these folks. Yes, she's been in circles, but because she's been in those circles, maybe not for the last few years, she still has connections to those circles. But I also believe money has motivated her to add a little sauce, to give people those conspiracy theories that they're like, oh, that's juicy, because they much rather believe the juicy story than the actual fact. I don't know what the actual fact is, but what I can sense is that there is a level of exploitation of this woman and the state that she might be in and the stories that she's telling, in my humble opinion.
Does it strike you a little bit that there's been a lot of silence in Hollywood in the wake of all of this?
Well, as to the Carters, I can tell you that when they put their foot down on something as they did here, they are sending a message. And if they can't stand up and make sure right from wrong, then who can? I've always believed that the truth will come out in courtrooms, and I'm sure the truth will come out.
This is the first time. This is the first time that we've actually seen someone that was closely associated or friendly with Sean Diddy Combs in any way speak out. And a lot of people have associated and assumed and are predicting that Jay-Z is next. He's the next one in Hollywood to be exposed. And a lot of people have used the excuse, well, no one has ever sued Jaguar Wright. We've refuted those claims multiple times because keep in mind, guys, if you have nothing to lose, suing Jaguar is not going to stop Jaguar from still speaking. That's the thing. You could sue her and you could even get a judgment. But will that stop her from speaking about you and making these claims? No, we've seen this happen in recent times. That has not stopped someone from speaking. And if you don't have anything to lose, it's even more motivation for you to keep speaking. This is major news in regards to Jay-Z and Beyoncé speaking, because they never do. And the fact that their attorney is speaking on TMZ Live, yes, no matter how you feel about TMZ or whatever it may be, he has to get permission from them to go out and speak to the media on this. He has to receive permission from them to reach out to Piers Morgan and tell him, take that down or else. Or else what? We have to remember, a lot of these millionaires and billionaires run in the same circles. I wouldn't be surprised on some level there is a cross-pollination of Jay-Z and Beyonce businesses or future business that Rupert Murdoch is involved in. So it wouldn't shock me, because of those relations, that Piers Morgan was like, my hands are off. You want me to apologize? I will apologize. My contract is up. Millions of dollars are on the table. I'm not going to risk it over Jaguar Wright. But Piers knew what he was doing, why he had her on there. There were other channels that have been highlighting Jaguar for years, making tons of money off of her. He wanted in on that. But he got a little bit of it, made his money, and now he's backpedaling. It shouldn't be a surprise if you know Piers Morgan's history. But we also understand, as a platform, he had to, as a real journalist, he is a real journalist, he had to be like, well, we can't just say things on platforms without really being able to stand behind those things with actual information. Guys, I did not expect to talk about this Piers Morgan, Beyonce, Jaguar Wright stuff again, but here we are. Beyonce and Jay-Z's attorney is speaking out to TMZ, saying that they never sent a cease and desist, they sent an ultimatum, and that this interview and the accusations that Jaguar Wright made against the Carters actually is dangerous and doesn't help the real.
Since Cassie came forward, the floodgates have opened. More people are stepping up, sharing their own stories about Diddy and his wild parties. This has gone beyond the music. It's now about potential criminal charges, civil lawsuits, and reputations at risk. And that's why Bianca and Jay-Z are reportedly nervous. They've been close with Diddy for years, attending the same events and running in the same circles. Now everyone's wondering, were they simply innocent bystanders, or were they involved? Diddy isn't just any industry figure, he's a kingmaker, a taskmaker who can elevate or ruin careers. But with his empire now cracking, brands are cutting ties, collaborators are distancing themselves, and even longtime friends are staying unusually quiet. For Bianca and Jay-Z, this is more than just gossip. Their entire brand is built on being the royalty of the music world, the power couple that has always stayed above the mess. But if it's revealed they were involved in or even knew about these freak-offs, it could severely damage their image. We're talking about the potential loss of major deals, fan backlash, and even legal consequences if they're found to have had any part in the scandal. In an industry where image is everything, just being linked to something this explosive could be career-ending. That's why all eyes are on what comes next, and why Bianca and Jay-Z might feel pressure to come clean about what they knew and when they knew it.
I would say this, it's kind of funny to me, man, is that Diddy used to hate Jay-Z. He hated Jay-Z enough when he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay-Z. This is back in the early 2000s. And one day, Asler, Kushner, Diddy, and myself went to a Nets game and we met Jay-Z. I've never been a Jay-Z fan, you know, like some of his music, the whole 9 yards. But when we went over to the, I think that was Prudential Center in Newark, and him and Puff met up, it was strange to me. Because I remember what Puff was trying to do. And then both of them, they was talking about something amongst each other, amongst all of us, and laughing and joking with each other. Then over the years, I see them giving garden parties. You understand what I'm saying? You could tell that the people in power had gave that reign to Diddy and Jay was next in line. So to separate him when in fact they may be two of the same, but because Jay-Z is low key, that low key sneaky shit, and Diddy is and was rambunctious, you know, just out with it. It don't mean that they not two of the same. One just a little quieter with his shit.
What happened at the basketball game? When they ran into, you guys ran into Jay-Z?
They were just talking. They was talking amongst each other about their little white girls. They little skinny white girls.
And I mean, did Diddy always say negative things about Jay around you?
The time he was trying to get Ja Rule to go at Jay, yeah, he was. They worked it out.
Was there a reason behind it?
I couldn't tell you the reason behind it. It was probably because Big had died. I don't know what it was, man. I don't know why he wanted Ja Rule to go at Jay. I guess if he kept them beefing or kept them into some bullshit, he could rise up in between both of them.
Hold up. Why are Bianca and Jay-Z suddenly looking like deer in headlights? It seems there's more to this story than meets the eye. Let's get into why music's royal couple might be sweating right now. You know the saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, some photos from Diddy's parties are speaking volumes, and social media detectives have been working overtime. Old posts are surfacing, showing Ba and Jay at some of these infamous gatherings. Snapshots that were likely meant to stay private, but are now all over the internet. One particularly juicy piece of evidence making the rounds is a video showing Jay-Z getting a little too cozy with some women who definitely aren't Beyoncé. We all know Jay's had his history with infidelity, but this is next level. The clip's only a few seconds long, but it's got everyone wondering if the Carters were more involved in these freak-offs than anyone realized. But it's not just what's visible. Insiders are spilling tea about what happened behind closed doors. One source, who's staying anonymous for good reason, claims they saw Bianca at one of these parties looking way too comfortable for someone who's all about family values. Now, this isn't confirmed, but if it's true, whew, that's going to be hard to explain away. And let's not forget about the money trail. These celebs love their lavish gifts, right? Well, some leaked financial records show some eye-raising transactions between Diddy and the Carters. We're talking luxury vacations, expensive jewelry, the whole 9 yards. Now, normally that wouldn't be a big deal for the rich and famous, but with all the drama swirling, it's making people ask a lot of questions.
Why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time. Like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Yeah, shout out D. Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to to D. Haven.
Yeah, we need to talk to him.
I told you that last year when I put you on the phone with him.
You did.
I want you to think about this. Allegedly, Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyoncé, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now, I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it. Mm. Think of the power of that moment. Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathy White.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's pregnant mistress.
Yeah.
Who died of an imaginary fucking aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list. Mm. Who the fuck was these people supposed to go to? Mm. You can't go to the boss because the boss is fucking you. And the boss's boss don't get no fuck. Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case. Where the fuck you go when you get f***ed over by the industry? Nowhere. That's where you go nowhere, which is where people like me step in. You right? I go to Diddy parties to walk mother out, cause ain't nobody stopping me when I come.
So let me ask you, because I look at Gabriel Union, and when you mention things like Jay-Z's time is coming for him, then I look at Beyonce. And I say that, women do have
that country album, and any of you that buy that shit are stupid as shit.
You don't give it no
trap music with goddamn a holster and a hat.
But she remade Jolene.
That bitch. I'm gonna tell you the song she should have remade. It's a hit. It would have done great for her. She should have tried it on. Tammy Wynette. Classic. Stand by your man. Don't act like you don't know that now. Remake that. Stand by that. That's a real country hit. Jolene, nice. But it has a ring to it. Stand by your man. Yeah. Whoops. And disrespects you with other like Kathy Coriana White.
Bianca and Jay-Z are in crisis control, but it's not looking good. They've been frantically scrubbing their Instagram of any connection to Diddy. But once something hits the internet, it's there for good. Screenshots don't disappear, honey. Their PR team is working overtime. releasing broad statements about supporting victims and standing against abuse. But they're skirting around the real issue. It's becoming clear they're trying to play it safe, but the public is catching on. What's really concerning everyone is how this could unravel their entire brand. Beyoncé and Jay-Z are more than just artists. They're a global empire. Their image is built on being the ultimate power couple, navigating both love and business flawlessly, far above the messiness of the industry. But if it comes out that they were tangled in Diddy's scandal, that perfect image could come crashing down. For Beyoncé, the stakes are especially high. As a role model for millions of young women who look up to her as Queen Bad, if she was knowingly present at these controversial parties, it's going to be a hard pill for her fans to swallow. And Jay-Z, with his legacy as a business mogul and the blueprint for success, could see his reputation and his deals collapse if he's tied to anything shady. Even if they weren't directly involved in anything illegal, just being associated with this scandal could be damaging enough. In the entertainment industry, reputation is everything. And right now, theirs is on shaky ground. Brands are already getting anxious, with reports that some major companies are considering freezing their partnerships with the Carters until this storm passes. But the big question remains, will it blow over? Or is this the start of something bigger?
All right, well, let's do it like
Who was
this.
actually carrying his baby while you was faking it. Why your husband don't want to put his seed inside of you? He put it in everybody else? Wild in this world, yo.
It's funny, you open up Beyonce's internet, it just gets weird.
Beyonce's internet.
That's what we're calling
that
it.
belongs to the devil. Unless you calling that the devil, she ain't nothing but an employee.
Oh.
And half of which dumbass bitch.
So, you know, it's funny that it's crazy you say these
Why
things.
don't nobody want to accept that bitch?
I think
she went and killed the girl Cats.
Okay.
A girl went to court and charged her with extreme witchcraft. She was hypnotized. She was drugged. Beyonce came and she was in there eating on her and shit while she was asleep. You know, snacking on his bitch, killing people cats. And guess what? They wouldn't give her the restraining order. They just told her to stay away from Beyonce and work for somebody else. Guess what? She's having a hard time finding work too. Which is interesting because she's a brilliant musician. And she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls. Impulse control issues? I don't know. I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston. Why did that house burn up? Who the fuck goes to their childhood house for a visit and the shit goes up in flames?
That was very weird. The next day, within a week?
The next day.
The next day.
And still, no real investigation on how the house just went up in flames.
Man.
I guess they paid y'all off. Like they paid y'all off for that Astro World.
So, let me ask you.
Texas politics.
Yeah, Texas politics, man. It's that right there. We're gonna talk about the episode, but for right now, I just got to get your take on when we see a Killer Mike win 3 Grammys
and get arrested immediately after because Jay-Z paid somebody to him up just so he couldn't have a good night? You, Sean.
Hey, man.
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever. All I do is frustrate your AI. You can't quantify me. You can't even control your wife. You gonna handle a bitch like me. You can't even control that goofy bitch. You should have did a better job. Maybe she wouldn't have had to lose her mind on Kathy. Because you ain't protecting you. You're protecting her. Wonder